Oh, you come back. You come back here right now. You sit and chat. Let's start in just a second. Uchuchuu! Boku wa Myobitan desu. Yoroshichu! I was trying to last minute eat my snack, so I'm not eating on stream again. Hello! Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see Yamate kudasai! Thank you for Yamate stopping by! Uchuchuu! I figured, I don't know if I've done a zatsu on YouTube yet. And I figured because we had so many new people who joined us for Star Fox, I figured it would be a good time just to chat with everybody. I was also, I'm letting you in on a little secret. I was working on trying to re-rig some of my model. And I might have broken some of it. So the little things I was trying to improve and mistakes I was trying to fix, it's now taking me a lot longer because I have to fix my mistakes. Yeah! We have 103! Hyaku-san! Tsukuro Uchuchuu! I need a little bit of my water. But yeah, I ended up waking up pretty early. I was gonna try and show off some of the improvements I made, but because of the aforementioned breaking, I can't show you guys yet, so here we are. Oh. But yeah, we managed to reach 100 subscribers on YouTube! Yippee! Thank you, everybody, so much for joining me. Honestly, Wednesday's stream, Star Fox, was really successful. Like, out of my last 5 streams, that had the most viewers. I was really surprised. I was very happy, though. Like, I wonder if it was from my elite thumbnail skills. I also made today's thumbnail. Usually I have Beepy help me, but I've been trying my hand at it. I think it's pretty good, pretty Gucci. Which, you know, you think I would be better at making thumbnail art, but being an illustrator is different from being a graphic designer, you know? Yeah, I'm glad you're doing better, Sakura. You know, like, no sick. No more ER visits. No, you must be well from now on. It is law. I have spoke it into existence. How is my audio doing? Can everybody hear me okay? Can you also hear the music very gently in the background? I believe this this tune I have in the background is not one of my own, unlike my loading screen music. But it's cute, and it was free to use, so I'm happy. I think I gotta repaste the link to it in the description, which I will try and remember to do later. Has anyone had any fun summer plans that have happened this summer, like this year? Because the one thing I really wanted to do this year was go to the beach. And it's only tomorrow where I'm finally gonna be able to go to the beach. You know, with my friends. The music is slightly audible. I'll turn it up a little bit. I'm always not sure, because I feel like the levels are fine, but then when I listen back to it, it can be very hit or miss. The weather forecast, luckily for this weekend and starting next week, looks like it'll be much more reasonable than it has been. Well, not cool by any means. It'll be cooler than it was. Which hopefully means also the UV index won't be too bad. Because last year, when I went to the beach with my friends, even though I applied sunscreen twice, I got super burnt. The worst burnt that I've ever been burnt before in my life. It was so painful, and I still have lines from it, from like where it burnt me around my swimsuit. Like they're faint, but they're still on my back. Penguin? Oh, I guess I kind of looked like a penguin. Because I got tan on my exposed areas, and then my soft belly was still white. So, I've definitely bought some stronger strength sunscreen. So I'm hoping to avoid that this year. But wish me luck anyway, because last year, even with sunscreen, I managed to burn terribly, and you know, maybe I just need people praying for my success. Oh, we're not gonna play a game today. Today is Zatsudan. I was gonna just chat with everybody. I'm sorry if you were looking more forward to a game. I figured last time I didn't get to talk with everybody so much, so I wanted to talk with everybody today. Sorry, got a little fuzz by my good time, and there's nothing you can do about it. Oh no! I'm going to have such a blessed time. You know, now that I'm trying like some of the new rigging stuff, I'm looking at what I did with this one, and like the face angles. Oh, apparently I am still breaking things. The face angles, admittedly, not too bad. Ignore the bald spot I apparently conjured there. Because I've definitely managed to oopsie doops my head shape in this recent round. And like, you know, how all the features fall. Because I think too much about like how I draw, and you think that would translate, but it doesn't totally, you know? Especially when you're not using all these different like clipping and masking functions, which I didn't really comprehend until more recently. Myobitan, no! Look away! Look away! Look away from my shame! But hopefully, you know, whatever I cook up will be nice and still have the Myobi charm that you've also clearly come to love. Yes. Okay. I'm glad today is also not too warm, because the Myarim, if you hey girl. Ooh, I would wink, but I can't wink. Hey girl, I mean they. Can I interest you in some milk from the Milky Way? Ooh. I'm I'm especially glad it's not too hot because I decided to play, I guess, a bit of dress up today. I wanted to... Where's... Oh, he's not going? Oh. Yeah, there it is. I wanted to play a bit of dress up with, my maid outfits. Because I have 2 non-character specific... Who's laughing at me? I have 2 character non-specific ones, a pink one and a blue one. And so I because they're really cute. I love maid outfits, how they're so ruffly and floofy. And I'm currently wearing the blue one with the little apron, and it has like these buttons on the apron, and then a little like paw print thing on the bow on the front, and it comes with kitty ears with bells. I'm not wearing them because, like, listen. Yeah, I love jinglies. And I also tried on the pink one, but I liked the cut of the blue one today. And then I also have a third one that is a Stoffel's official maid outfit. Which is very cute. Even though, because I got it pre-made, you know, like I bought the costume rather than making it. The parts that are supposed to be like, you know, a kind of darker gold are instead orange? And I'm not sure why. But it's still very, very cute. I like all the little details because, you know, it was designed with a Stoffel in mind, so it has like the tie has the hippogriff on it, and there's still like the belt that goes after like his belt in his regular outfit. It's very cute. It's very, very cute. So I was wondering because I have a an idol conference. Yes. This weekend, and I was wondering if I should just dress nice, or if I should dress in one of the maid outfits, or if I should cosplay, because I'm also there's purple. Good job, Yamate. Can I call you Yams? But there's a meet and greet I want to go to during this idol conference. And I want to, you know, it's like one of those things where you want to make a good impression. So you kind of want to go just dress nicely as yourself. And you hope that, like, the person you're meeting might remember you for next time. But, you know, also, it's a convention. And it's the time I can use as an excuse to get dressed up all nice. How soon can you rent a tuxedo? I don't know. How expensive is it to rent a tuxedo? Go bring a bouquet and propose to my favorite idol. I was thinking for a minute, I'm like, should I? Because, like, I want to bring, like, a little offering because I don't know how to always express the extent of my thankfulness for their hard work. And last time I brought a little gift, and I think that went well, but it'd be nice to bring another little gift, and I was wondering if it's something I should make? Thank you for all the hearts! I was wondering if it's something I should make, or I was also wondering maybe if I should, like... if I should, like, buy a bouquet. Like, a little small one, not anything too crazy. I have a week to think about it. To dress up in clothes you don't normally get to wear, but still renders you recognizable as yourself. Yeah, that's what I did when I went to a different idol conference last month. Wow, it feels like it was longer ago. I dressed up nice. Even though I dressed up much nicer the first day, and then the second day was almost a Hail Mary, so I didn't think I was gonna make it quite. So, but I still dressed nice. Okay, it might be difficult for someone to carry around without squashing flowers, even a small one. That's true. But if I... no, because that would go against my branding. IDK? That's fair. I'll think about it, you know? Because I really like to cosplay, even if I don't get to do it very often. And I'm not exactly fancy about it, you know? Because I don't know how to style wigs, and I'm not very good at my makeup. But being able to cosplay as characters I like, it gives me this sort of free feeling and confidence. It's Friday, yay! Friday, yay! It is! It's the weekend for normal working people. Thank goodness it's Friday. I haven't actually been to a TGI Fridays in, like, so many years. More than a decade. That's crazy. Not like I'm saying I miss it. I don't even really remember. It's just, you know, it's one of those things you don't really think about. Like to cosplay? Oh, I like to cosplay a Stoffel. I have his standard outfit, you know, his rider outfit. I have his swimmy suit. I have his maid outfit. I have his idol outfit. And I have his First Ascension Saber outfit, which I would like to do alterations on to make it a little more canon compliant. But I also, anything that I've made myself or with help, you know, but is homemade, I'm really excited to cosplay. So I cosplayed Sosei Seki from Rose and Maiden and Grell Sutcliffe from Kuroshi Suji, and those are two of the ones I'm most proud of. Particularly Sosei Seki, because she turned out beautiful. Like, I felt I was very picture accurate. Oh, we also made Laharl, which felt really amazing to cosplay because it felt like such a impossible cosplay. I'd like to find a way to make a more secure version of the shoes. It would be great to be able to fish out the pieces. You know, maybe touch up a bit. Yeah, probably, but I think she just didn't want to go by herself. That's fair. I'm sitting down, so I gotta loosen my little apron a bit. Yeah, like we made boot covers over some, like, chunky Lolita shoes I had. But it's just, you know, he's not popular enough that you can really buy the shoes. But where was I going with that? He's not really popular enough that you can buy the shoes, but also cosplay shoes tend to be very expensive. Don't try it? Wait. Don't try why? Yeah, we did make the anklets, the gold anklets, and the little... We sewed onto the socks to have the little fold over. But, like, the actual red and white shoe part of the shoe, we made shoe covers for, yes. It would be really nice to cosplay Laharl again. I want to take another crack at it. And I made his, because he has, you know, his first game, like, standard outfit in D2, where he's a bit older, but I made the first one with the shorts. Oh. But I'd have to get a bit more in shape again, because I've gained a bit of weight since I last wore it. And so I have a little bit of a tummy. But it's enough of a tummy that I'm kind of embarrassed to wear crop tops or shirtless character cosplays. Anything that exposes my tummy, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm embarrassed. Like, having the actual weight itself isn't bad, but I have to shape it better. Like, I have to turn this into some muscle. Because right now I feel kind of disproportionate, I guess. Because I'm skinny up top, and my arms are skinny, but then I have a little bit of a tummy. It just makes me feel like my silhouette looks funny because it's not all like proportional. Yeah, I am healthier. The good thing is I am healthier, so that's why I don't want to necessarily lose weight, but I'd like to tone what I have. But I do want to start doing Ring Fit regularly. Now that we got the living room clean, I should have the space to, because I can't do it in my room. There's not... Doing the jogging in place would cause everything to shake, like on my desk and whatnot, and I don't want to risk breaking anything. But I do want... Because we have Ring Fit. And I tried it once before, and then, you know, stuff happened, and blah, 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 blah. But it was a good workout, and that's something I could do at home. That would be easy. I'd like to try that. I just... With anything, like, I feel like I'm not super good at, I get really embarrassed to have people see me do it. So that's why I don't practice dances anymore. I don't really have that space to do so with my own comfort. Because the living room is a communal area where everybody in the house can go. And then that should be fine. But I get scared and embarrassed. Oh, I think there is a Miku boxing game, but I don't... Did it come out in English now? How do I get a hold of it? I wanna box with Miku. That'll definitely get me to play. I love Miku. Miku daisuki. Or Love Live song scale. Oh, that'd be beautiful! Can you do Love Live choreography with only 2 people? I'm sure there's people who have made versions. But I feel like you need at least, you know, 3 because of how they do the choreography for the 9, but they'll usually section it off to a group of 3 girls. So, like, 3 groups of 3, you know? 3, 3, 3, and then, like, the center, and that 3 usually is the choreography you end up doing. There is one I wanted to do that was a... Marine song. It was called... I think it was Dive to Blue. I was trying to learn it with B. It's very complicated. Make it work? Okay. Did you want to cosplay Love Live characters together? Or did you have another, like... Or just dress nice, or different set of characters idea? Because, like... There's so many good Love Live outfits to choose from. And I like that with Love Live, they have... I like how they do the sets of costumes. Because... There's a lot of time with idol units, they just give them the same outfit, but like with their thematic color, but it's like the very same. And I like Love Live how it's all... They're all similar, but like the cuts and the accessories and things like that are all different and unique to each girl. It's nice. I like that. But of course, you know, like a lot of the standard ones that you see the most often tend to be very the same. But I played School Idol Festival for a long time, so I was used to those types of collections. Don't need to specifically, I don't know who I would cosplay. It would depend on the rest of the group. That's true. It would depend on like who else and also what song. But okay, let me raise you this. If you were to cosplay a Love Live character, who would you cosplay as? Because I think there's a character that makes me think of you. Which is why it ended up being my favorite character. And you can answer from like Muse or Aqua or any of the Niji, Gasaki. And I don't know any of the ones past that. I know there's Layla, and then there is also like a new batch. It's my favorite. Yeah, I don't at all think I would work well as her. Why not? She has that mature beauty to her, and like that a bit of that older sister vibe. I feel like you could pull that off. Though if we're talking about Aqua, I feel like you would make a very cute Ruby. Gamba Ruby! Or Hanamaru. I love Hanamaru. Well, my favorite is definitely Hanayo. Her hair color sister just wouldn't suit me. Really? I can't really imagine anything not suiting you, honestly. I feel like if I were to cosplay... Yeah, Ruby is very B-coded. If I were to cosplay from Muse, I would probably be Rin. And if I cosplayed from Aqua... Who would I be if I cosplayed from Aqua? I feel like the most obvious one would be Yoshiko. But I feel like... no... Yeah, I guess Yohane, Yoshiko would be like the closest, right? I'm a bit of a chuuni myself. Actually, that would be so cute. All three of us as the Aqua first years. Oh, I love it. We should definitely... We will... Yes. Yes. Oh, we should definitely... We could do Hajimari Road! No, Riro, tan 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 tan. That'd be Budomes. I keep eyeing the crackers and salami I have on my desk, but I know if I touch them, it'll make a bunch of noise. Crackers are not a subtle snack. It is decided. It has been decreed and put into law. Oh, my brain just stopped. I was like, I had a thought, and then I didn't. It'd be really nice to, you know, make more cosplays. But definitely, the ability to do so has become so expensive. And there is a fashion district in the city I live in, you know, where you can get a lot of fabric for cheap. I think I've talked about this before. I'm sorry, I'm talking about it again. Where you can get fabric for really cheap. But you have to haggle for it. And I'm not very good at haggling because I get mean rather than persuasive, which is not good. And people who, you know, they run that business and they're used to haggling, you know, they're the pros at it. It's really easy for them to upsell you. Upsell you, yeah. Imagine if cosplay shoes could be 3D printed. Oh, I wonder how they would... I feel like... because you would still need the flexibility. Oh. If you don't give me a good deal on this, I'll cry. I'm sure they get that all the time, though. I remember I made... me and B together made Mikleo from Tales of Zestiria. And we wanted to do it a bit fancier, which it ended up being very, very difficult. But we kept getting people trying to upsell us on different fabrics. Like, oh no, you want this really nice silk. And it's like, no, we don't. Just want the cotton. Or like, oh, you're looking for this lace pattern. It's like, yeah, I found this one. Like, oh, but this one is like French lace and I'll give you a good price. And it's like, I don't want that one. I want this one that I'm holding. But I always feel bad because it's like, oh man, they really want me to buy this. They want my money, and I know this is their job, so why don't I give them my money? So I'm definitely not the person to take for that. Waffle fries, Uchuchuu! Can I have a waffle fry? Or are you my singular waffle fry? Am I allowed to eat you as a snack? I get paid on commission? Well, it's usually the store owners themselves that are talking to you, so. Oh. Yeah, all the stores downtown in the fashion district are small. And usually family run or operated, or it's only operated by like the person who owns it and like 2 or 3 other people. And there's small stores, but there's a bunch of them. You gotta go looking through. And the bigger ones where they sell leftovers of like a bolt of fabric, those you don't get the haggling or the pushing, but the fact of the matter is that tends to be less or very specific fabric of like, oh, it's this paisley pattern in neon green and like neon green and like a faded purple, and there's 27 yards of it, and it's like, no one needs this. That's why it's here. So it's not, even though that shopping experience is definitely much more what I'm familiar with, it more times than not it won't have what I'm looking for. If you just need fabric, any kind of fabric for like cheap and bulk, it's perfect, but neon green paisley sounds good. I saw, okay, I was at Joann Fabrics, which the prices at Joann Fabrics are ludicrous now. I did see in there, they have a copyrighted character, like, print section. So it's where you see usually things like Disney, or, like, cartoon characters, Tom and Jerry even, or whatever, Bugs Bunny. But it also, like, stretches into other things, like South Park, surprisingly, and sometimes some game stuff, and also, like, Hello Kitty, whatnot. But they had, in that licensed character fabric, a pattern of Among Us crewmates. And, like, it was a space background, like that kind of, oh, dark blue, and then a bunch of little just crewmates. And I know it's seen as, like, cringy or whatever, but I do think the crewmates are cute. And I kind of want to make either, like, a vest or a dress or a skirt out of it. I don't know if they still have it, because this was a couple years back, and I couldn't buy it then. But I do want to make some kind of clothing out of it. I mean, shorts, I guess, makes sense, but I feel like you won't get to see the joy of the crewmates as well, because shorts tend to be smaller. People don't look at the pattern on shorts as closely. It sounds cute, actually. It was! I loved it! One day, I will get my Among Us dress. Make myself a new little, just, like, strappy kind of sun-style dress. Among Us printed shorts with sus printed on the booty. Ooh, actually, hold on. I'll wear that with my femboy Hooters crop top. I want a pair of, like, booty shorts that has the radiation warning on it. So the one of, like, this is not a place of honor. The horrors here are man-made and will cause harm. Like, however, how does it go again? Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up. Like, I know the whole thing is kind of long. Radiation warning. What is it? Poem. Long-term nuclear waste warning message. Okay, there we go. What was it? Yeah, here it is. It's a message. Right. This place is a message. ... In a part of a system of messages. ... Pay attention to it! Exclamation point. Sending this message was important to us. We considered ourselves to be a powerful culture. This place is not a place of honor. ... No highly esteemed deed. Whoa! There's a cobweb that just floated in. What? I don't want to touch it. Guess I have to. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get away from my desk. Okay, goodbye. Okay, goodbye. Okay, where was I? Oh, now it's just connected onto my mic. Oh, gosh, it's everywhere. Oh, no. Oh, fudge. Oh. Okay, I think we're good? Okay. Cobweb. Like, it just came down from, like, this ceiling. I didn't see that there until just now, so, like, what? Maybe the fan picked it up? Anyway, this place is not a place of honor. No highly esteemed deed is commemorated here. Nothing valued is here. What is here was dangerous and repulsive to us. This message is a warning about danger. The danger is in a particular location. It increases towards the center. The center of danger is here, of a particular size and shape, and below us. The danger is still present in your time as it was in ours. The danger is to the body, and it can kill. The form of the danger is an emanation of energy. The danger is unleashed only if you substantially disturb this place physically. This place is best shunned and left uninhabited. Well, I might remove some of those lines, but I want that on a pair of booty shorts, pretty much. It feels like a poem. Like, it's supposed to try and explain in as basic terms as possible to hopefully convey it to civilization 10,000 years later that nuclear waste is here, do not enter. Hasn't become a copy pasta. You know, I'm kind of surprised too, yeah. It was made in 1993. But yes, something like that. And you know, I also wanted to make like maybe a sort of comic to something like that, because it definitely, while it is a very real threat of nuclear waste and radiation and things like that, it also can invoke a lot of feelings of supernatural, if not psychological, horror. It's about the vagueness of the terms that make it so... The vagueness, but the desperation of communicating the message. I like it. Versus if I stop and stoop down to read the message on your shorts, taking steadily more radiation as they do. Warning, this dump truck is a hazard. Yeah, I'm gonna mute my microphone real fast so I can crinkle these crackers. I want more slammy. Yes, now you must all deal with me eating a cracker and slammy. There's something about a little bit of a bready kind of product, or like I guess any kind of carb. There's something about a little bit of carb and a little bit of meat that's just, with a little bit of salt, gosh, hits the spot. Come on and slammy, and welcome to the Jlammy. Did I tell you guys? As you all know, well, those of you who don't know, I am a big fan of terrible movies. So, like a favorite of mine is Sharks of the Corn. Velocipaster counts, but it's also, you know, bad on purpose kind of thing. The Room is an obvious one that most people know. Their souls thrive within me as I feed them carb and meat. And a little bit of salt. But I'm a big fan of bad movies. And it's really hard to find one that has the combination of a high production value, like is like a Hollywood movie, but is still bad, not in a way where you feel cheated, but is just like, this is awful kind of thing. I guess it's a certain amount of like cheesiness or taking itself too seriously considering its subject matter. Like, I don't just want lazy, like no one cared, you know? I want people to care too much about the wrong things. And, you know, I think time definitely plays a factor in that. So, you know, movies from like the early 2000s, the 90s and whatnot, 80s, even if it has technical skill to it, it's the subject matter or the acting or whatever, things that date it or feels very cheesy for the time. Or the fact that it's the beginning of a franchise, a long-running franchise, you know, can definitely play a factor. Secret ingredient to a good bad movie is earnestness. You can't make one intentionally. Yeah, even if you make one intentionally, you have to go about it differently. You know, so like Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter and Velocipaster, while they're quote-unquote bad movies, more so they're comedies. They were designed to be as they are. Kind of like Airplane. I guess they kind of fall under satire, right? Either way, so I sat down with B and I was having, it was like last month? I think I was having a rough day. I don't remember why, but we ended up, because it was easily available to us, we ended up watching The Fast and the Furious. And that's a movie from 2001. And I don't know anything about the series besides cars, and people say it's very homoerotic. And Vin Diesel, you know, because he's... Turns out, this I didn't know. First of all, between the first and I think it was the 9th movie? So the first movie is called The Fast and the Furious. Alright? And the 9th movie is called Fast and Furious. So you can already understand how I probably got those two mixed up and ended up watching like the first 20 minutes of the 9th movie. Still starring Vin Diesel. But it felt too clearly recent. I'm like, this isn't right. But so, had to go back. Clicked on The Fast, The Furious, 2001, which, boy howdy, you could tell by the editing and the look of everything. And the fact that there were slurs just being thrown around casually, because at that time, at that time, you know, it's not that it was socially acceptable, because it wasn't, but it was more common, I guess. But did you know Vin Diesel's not the main character in that movie? Did you know it was based on a book? Just the first one, though. I don't even remember the name of the guy who played the main character, but it's so overly serious. And the fact that the main character, who that's where the most of the stakes come from and everything, is not only very clearly very in love with Vin Diesel's character, but he comes into the story, makes everything worse for everybody else and himself, and then leaves. Like, his involvement in the story was a net negative across the board. How do you convey the action of race cars with only words? Well, I mean, me retelling it certainly isn't gonna... But it's also very... The editing of which is very like late 90s, early 2000s is a lot of cuts. And then some bad 3D shonen of like all the inner workings of the car and stuff like that. But there's so many cuts to different angles and lots of close-ups that it's really hard to tell exactly what's going on. But you know, it's all about street racing, and so you know, like, I feel like they probably didn't get all the permits they needed, or shooting, or like stunt doubles and things like that. So in order to keep people out of danger or keep themselves out of a lawsuit, you know, just shoot a bunch of close-ups on the road and some 3D and some green screen and stuff. And that way you can avoid that. But it is baffling. Just, it's so over serious, and the plot, there really isn't really a plot until like the last half, and even then they only kind of touch on it. It's just, and new people keep getting introduced, and then the one character you end up liking is of course the character that dies. Which, you know, the fact that we liked them was like the first clue that like, oh, this kid's gonna die. This, I say kid when they were like college age. They're like early mid-20s. Like, oh, this kid's gonna die. They made him sympathetic and likable. That's but it's just a baffling choice. And I did because it's based on a book. That's why you said I'm dumb. Yeah, apparently it was based on like a supposedly true story about an undercover cop, and he like infiltrated the illegal street racing scene for like a sting operation or something like that. I'm guessing the movie, you know, definitely did a lot more exaggerating, but it's still also, even if the bare bones of the story were accurate, this guy was a shitty cop. He made everything worse. Everything only got worse. And someone died. Well, several people died, but like one character that we actually cared about died. It was wildly homework. Yeah! Like, they even had this kind of forced thing about the main character getting into a relationship with Vin Diesel's sister, but he didn't care about her. He only ever talked about Vin Diesel and about where he was, and he only got really introduced to the sister through Vin Diesel, and it felt like he was kind of just, you know, like she was almost a surrogate of like, this is the closest I can get to Vin Diesel. It was not good. And I definitely don't think it was like one of those so bad it's good movies, but it's definitely a bad movie. And for just to kind of turn your brain off and make commentary about it, it was very funny. Also, the audio mixing, I thought bad audio mixing was, you know how sound effects and everything in music are way louder than speaking. I've seen that more common in the last, you know, decade or so, rather than movies from the early 2000s. But no, it was so hard to understand them, and all the sound effects and music played over them, and the subtitles were like, the closed captioning was just some of the most abysmal closed captioning work I've ever seen, because it was terribly out of sync and not behind. It was in the future, and it didn't specify who was talking, or if people were talking at the same time. It didn't like position the words differently or have them color-coded, and then the lyrics weren't like specified to be really lyrics for music. But so like things that the subtitles obviously not matching up with people, they're like, what? Who's saying? Is that like the song that's getting confused? And then like 30 seconds later, the characters say the words that you just read, and it's like, oh no. Too far in the future. Homoerotic to the point where it feels misogynist. Yeah, which is like, you know, the same thing that happens with Naruto, which is like, Kishimoto just doesn't respect women to the point, and like can't write them as characters or have arcs or be interesting, to the point that Sasuke and Naruto come across as, you know, more of a romance than a rivalry. And any kind of other romantic thing between, like, Naruto and, like, Sakura or even Hinata feels very flat and forced, because he only gave chemistry to Sasuke and Naruto. Or, like, the male characters, at least. I'll include Gaara in that. So it's like... it's so misogynistic, it became homoerotic. Which I feel like a lot of shonens do. It's also why you get so much of that with, like, My Hero Academia. Folks. Point Break, 1991. Keanu Reeves. Ooh. And Patrick Swayze. And it was basically the same, but with surfing instead of drag racing. You know, I saw the other day, that reminds me, I saw it on the other day on a bumper sticker. On the back of I think it was a van, and it said, it was drag something racing, and I misread it as queen, and then it ended up being something else. I don't remember what it was, but it definitely wasn't anything as cool as queen. I was like, drag queen racing? So it made me think of, like, drag queens, like, getting suited up in, like, racing gear, and then they're all racing and stuff like that, like race cars. I would watch that. Like, actual race cars and stuff are some of the most boring stuff you've ever watched, but, like, having drag queens, like, get all ready and then, like, race each other in race cars, I feel like that'd be really fun. And also see who has their look still the most intact after a few laps. When you go to the pit stop, they don't only, like, fuel up your car and fix the tires, but they touch up your eyeliner and, like, fix your hair. I'd watch that. I would watch. I'm gonna crinkle this. Sorry. Oh, then we're at least wearing 8-inch heels. Oh gosh, that definitely adds a point of danger. Having heels can be, especially, like, you know, particularly very tall ones, it's hard. It's also dangerous for that reason. A little bit of card, a little bit of me. So I was profoundly disappointed when I found out that the bumper sticker was not drag queen racing. But it gives me hope that in the future... It painted a beautiful picture in my mind for a few minutes. Because I have, on my human papa side of the family, they like racing of different varieties. But I feel like, especially with, like, race car driving, like your typical NASCAR kind of thing, those driver seats and everything not only are going to shake you around a lot, but it gets hot in there. And I think that would bring part of the challenge of, like, trying to keep your look as good as possible in the climates. And so you have to design the look to be, like, what's the best that can weather while still being, you know, like, drag. This is a great TV show idea. It could be like a competition. They should hire me to just come up with ideas for good TV shows. Fall 2025. Ooh. Do you think I could propose it to drop out? I know they have connections to drag queens. They had a whole D&D episode. Dungeons and Drag. Obviously, you would want extra safety precautions, maybe drop the speed down a bit, because... But you would also want to be able to train the drag queens to, like, race stuff and, like, safety precautions. So obviously I wouldn't want, like, the same intensity of, like, speed and things like that to help, you know, minimize, you know, like, injury. But still racing. Still racing. I don't think it would be the same if it was, like, go-karts, so we'd still have to do race cars. Uchuchuu Moopy! Oh, and you gotta get back. Well, thank you for stopping by to say hi! We've been talking about movies and the most brilliant TV show that, that the world has ever seen. And I'm eating crackers and Slammy. Italian dry salami. We did start watching The Fast and the Furious too, but it was just kind of hard to pay attention at the time. But I'd like to go back and just finish it because it also looks ridiculous. Oi! Oi! Oi, 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 hey. Take care, everyone. Oh, okay. I'll see you later, Moopy. Good luck with work. There we go. Oh, that reminds... I don't know why this reminded me. But you will not believe what I actually played yesterday. I jumped on a call with Mifa after he got off work. So there's more going in reverse order. I kind of want to see, like, the point where Vin Diesel takes over being the main character, because even in the second one, he's not yet. I don't even know if he's in the second one. He's gotta be, right? He's, like, the face of it. But, what I was saying. You know? And I hated how big of a game it is, and how much downloading it took. It's frustrating, but I guess I get why with all the stuff they put in it. But I played... Don't think less of me for this. I played with Mifa several rounds of Fortnite. And it was fun. I know. I know. I'm valid? Thank you. I hope you don't think any lesser of me. I definitely don't think it's something I'm gonna be doing a lot. There's, of course, you know, the appeal of playing something new. You want to play more in those early beginning stages. But I think, you know, being able to get a party of friends together to play, I can see why that's fun. That's true. It's definitely, when you first boot up, there is so much information being beamed directly into your skull. So I'm glad Mifa was there. We won 3 matches and lost the last one. I was definitely being carried the whole time, but I got, the first kill I got was a headshot. And it was with a shotgun. I felt pretty good about that. Because usually, wasn't super into it, obviously, but I only really played first-person shooters on consoles before. And it's definitely not very intuitive control scheme. Uchuchuu rockets, welcome! But yeah, keyboard and mouse is definitely way more comfortable for aiming. But my gosh, the items and stuff don't have cohesive, really, naming structure. Or at least the naming structure doesn't really tell you what it does. And sometimes with things like that, like color coding is like, so you have a shield and it's blue, and you restore that by drinking the blue drink. And like, okay, that makes sense. But like there's other stuff that just is kind of like whatever color, and it's like, oh, this helps you jump and whatnot. And it's like, but you wouldn't know that by the name. And it's like, what is it, a flowberry or something like that? Like, how was I supposed to know that? Just by looking at it. And they're like, oh, you just try it out and figure it out. And I'm like, I don't like that. You're looking and, like, using resources that you have a limited amount of because you're trying to survive. I'd like to know what I got. And yeah, I got limited space. Yes, Rockets, I'm sorry. I played Fortnite for the first time yesterday. Wait, how'd you know that just from how I was talking? Yeah, I was definitely, I think, because I had brought it up before, because I was like, you know, I really wish I had something I could just easily pick up and play with friends that didn't cost us, like, money to all buy together. It's like, I wonder, like, what Fortnite's really like with that, and Mifa, like, heard Fortnite, and just spawned, like, into the conversation, like, you said Fortnite? I was like, ooh! But I'm glad I could play with him. Well, that's why I played with Mifa and I turned off voice chat. Like, it asks you, before it even shows you the lobby, it's like, do you want voice chat or no? And I'm like, no. Slurp. I don't want to call it Slurp Juice. That's a stupid name. That shit is a potion. But yeah, I wouldn't suggest it to anyone. I guess just for, like, some of my VTube friends. If they already have it, then that makes it easy. Because I think part of the problem with, just in general, with multiplayer games is I don't tend to participate in competitive games, and certainly not first-person shooters. But a lot of people, especially VTuber friends I have, that's a lot more popular. And fewer of them tend to have the multiplayer games I have. Like, you know, Mario Kart or Mario Party. And even then, it has a different feel to it than just being able to chill. And you're all on a team, you know, and you can talk while you do stuff. You know, even like with League of Legends, back when I played that, we didn't get to just talk when we played it. We were locked in. We were tryhards. Crafting potions. Can you craft those things? Also, why when I go in the green water and it give me skulls? Skulls does not mean poison. Skulls mean you do a fancy boost if you hit space twice. Why skulls? Also, I did leave the UI, sound indicators on. I don't know if that's seen as a cheap move, but it helps me a lot. So it's like, it has a reticle that will display what sounds you're hearing from what direction. So like, oh, you hear like someone's fighting, like gunfire. It's coming from like, yeah, direction. Or like, and then it'll be orange, or like you hear footsteps and those are in white and it'll be coming from yeah direction. And I really like that. I really appreciate it. Because, especially when I'm on a call, my headphones don't always let me hear the game for some reason. So having the visual to go along with, you know, that really helps. But also, I don't exactly have the fancy sound system to get that full surround feeling of where's that coming from, you know? And the visual mixed with the sound is the best for me. Like, I need both to get a full feedback experience. Like, and that's true with, like, things like Nier Automata. Like, if you took out the sound and I couldn't hear the game, I would not play it nearly as well because, you know, sound design is a thing, you know? You get certain feedback of, like, when you hit something or when you dodge something or when something hits close to you. Even if you're not consciously realizing it, it helps you map out distance and, you know, what effects you have done on something. Vegan Dota 2 are too much for me, so much info. Oh, I don't even know anything about Dota. I just hear the name. Did you default dance? No. Also, I don't get to be any character. It doesn't have character select. It's just you get to be, like, default girl, and then after a while it changes you to default man. And default man has a scary face. It's like someone peeled his eyelids back. Mr. Otaku! Uchuchuu! Problem, you're dumb. Ah, Sven! Cat in the way, cat in the way! Hi, bud. You can sit in my lap. Uchuchuu, welcome! It costs money to be a banana? Can't you unlock stuff? They don't have any skins from what I can tell that I care about, but like I would at least like to customize a little. I saw they have like a calico cat that is buff. I'm not gonna spend money on this stupid game, but I wanna be the calico cat who is buff. English or Vietnamese? I speak English, I do not know any Vietnamese, so. Even if your English is not very good, I will appreciate being able to read it. Playing video games without sound because I want to listen to other videos too. Even when I listen to other videos, I always have to have at least some of the game audio coming through. Otherwise, I definitely play worse, because, like I was saying, I need that feedback. Because I definitely, when I was at the height of my Genshin playing, a lot of times I would either be on a Discord call with Pepper, or I'd be watching videos at the same time while I did my dailies or I explored. Whoa, we got a lot of people! What? Hi, Pai Uchuchuu! Before I wish they added Peter Griffin as a character. No, I'm stuck in the Fallen Hero timeline. I did see that. He's like buff and stuff for some reason, right? I'm so sorry. We should play together. I at least just want a character I can be like that isn't just the most boring to look at. I want to be like hee hee, because like with games like that, the whole point is like customization, nice, but they should give you some free stuff, right? Mr. Otaku, I'm not sure what you're trying to say to me. Sometimes when it first started, it wasn't for me. Fair. And, you know, probably give me, like, a few more plays and I'll be like, okay, I'm done. I might uninstall it altogether. Luckily, you know, it would have been, like, more grown-worthy if I had to make, like, an account. Like, I already didn't like that I had to download the launcher, but if I had to make an account on top of that, I'd be like, it's not worth it. I already had one because I played Rocket League before. I don't know why that would have been the straw that broke my back, but it would have been. But I had to make, like, a new account and, like, oh, I'll give you my email and blah, 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 blah. I'd hate to do with Fortnite. Oh, mostly Epic Games. My account got hacked. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Fader. Also, Uchuchuu. That sucks. I think only had an account hacked on me once. Usually because I don't have anything that anyone would want to hack for. And I also don't play a lot of online games for the most part. But it was way back in the day in Gaia, and I was definitely a dumb kid, and I fell for it, and they just could not get me my things back, and I cried about it. But I also met a really good online friend through that, because we had both gotten scammed, and so we were commiserating together. Is to hack Epic Games back. Ooh, in Minecraft? Victory Royale? I did! 3 times! I was being carried the whole time. I mean, I was able to help more the second and third time. But definitely I still did not do I didn't do like 80% of the heavy lifting. That was Mifa. It is fun to drive the car, I will say, and then hit people with the car. Makes me happy. Also, I do like that they have a designated button to... Because you drop out of this, like, flying bus for some reason at the beginning. But you can thank the bus driver, which does nothing but, you know, thanks the bus driver. And there's a designated button for that. And I like that. I like that. I like stuff like that in games. The thank you button. know, it'd be nice to try playing again with people. I definitely don't want to play it on my own. I think I get too try-hardy, and I also know I'm not very good at it, so it would just be constant rounds of me being like one of the first people out, and I would get so angry. And I don't need to be like that again. I've put League of Legends behind me. I don't need a new replacement for it. Best feature I've ever heard of it, right? Well, I would say second best, because the first best feature is letting you pet the animals in games. It is good manners, and I like it when games let me have good manners. Even though if other people... Sorry, I'm crinkling the crackers. Even if other people, you know, don't always reciprocate. I always had the kind of fantasy feeling of, like, if I played a kind of massive online game, it would be cool to become, like, a kind of silent protector kind of thing. That's how I played Elsword back in the day. But it's just, like, an air of mystery. But it's really hard to be mysterious when you are incapable of shutting your mouth. I just cannot shut the fuck up. Did I eat already? I had breakfast. Mm-hmm. Petting the dog in Overcooked 2. You could pet a dog in Overcooked 2? I think I saw the dog. He's like the dog of the Onion King guy. I haven't played it, but I saw a bit of my Oshi play it. You become an obnoxious healer? Calling shots. I always end up being healers in those, and it's not like that gameplay is particularly fun for me, but it feels like the only way I'm helpful to the party because I'm not very good in either offensive or defensive roles. So a lot of times in games like that, I kind of end up getting funneled into support roles, particularly healing. Because also, I don't want to die. But I would really like to branch out and do cooler stuff. Yes, he licks you, and I love him so much. He's small. Aww! Excellent. It's like in Hades, you can pet Cerberus. Every time I died and went back to the palace, I would always give Cerberus a pet. I could not be a good defense player. It's weird because in Elsword, I ended up... My main character was Chung, and I put him on the path that his main thing was he was a paladin. And he was much slower, but he did have a cannon, which dealt a lot of damage. And he had very high defense, and one of his skills was that he could increase the defense of his party members. And I ended up using that a lot, and people actually found me helpful, and I really liked that. I could take a beating, and I ended up being, they introduced PvP back when I used to play, and I ended up being, I won most of my matches. Which is kind of funny because objectively, there are characters that should have definitely outpaced me, because even with the high defense and a lot of HP, you know, like, if I can't hit you, then it's only a matter of time until you win. But I was pretty good with that cannon. Even the reloading. Oh, excuse me. Destroying them kids. I wasn't playing with kids, I don't think, but... Yeah, no, winning against other, like, players is definitely a rush that you don't get when you just fight, like, CPU. Because it feels like it's a very... Because the CPU... sorry. The CPUs always act within a certain framework, and they won't do, usually, more complicated moves of any kind. But with an actual human being, it feels like it proves the effort and the time you put in. that you either outclassed, outskilled, outsmarted your opponent. And so it gives you that hit of dopamine, but then they also, you know, these freemium games that are, you know, big old MOBAs, they kind of prey on that. They want you to keep playing and keep getting those wins and getting that hit of the good chemical. And then one defeat feels like it's just the most rage-inducing thing ever. Especially because, you know, it's like the time and investment and then waiting and how long a round takes. The game itself is designed to a base level of fun, but what the fun and the point of it is to win. So... and you should be doing everything to get that win. So it makes it really frustrating. Because, like, yeah, winning a Mario Kart's fun, but, like, I can also just play Mario Kart. And that it's a fun game on its own, you know? Frail Child on the Battlefield. I did play Splatoon 2 for a little while. I liked using the roller, obviously, because I couldn't really get a hold of the controls. As I was saying with first-person shooters and console games, I don't do a very good job. But apparently, I'm a freak of nature. I ended up using dualies because I turned on gyroscopic controls, and then I could aim. I mean, yeah, sometimes the CPUs can be very cracked, but it also depends on, like, how much you naturalize to a game. So, like, a hard Mario Kart and CPU and PC doesn't mean much to me, but a normal, like, fighting game NPC might as well be in, like, an Elder Scrolls boss. At least to me. Yeah, exactly, Fredder. I'm not capable of not try-harding, unfortunately. And it's not just with games, you know? Oh, I just realized. Poor Gokultai, you fell off me. Probably when the corkboard fell over. There you go, buddy. It's not just with games. I try hard in, like, anything I do, especially if it feels like there's gonna be someone seeing the work I put in or see the results. And I'm definitely aware that it was, in part, how I was raised, but the other part is definitely based on, I guess, how my shortcomings were treated by people around me. I'm not saying people weren't understanding, but there was a lot of people, particularly, like, you know, family or authority figures, who, my best, if I didn't get the results, you know, when they didn't understand the process of how I was doing things, they would shut me down pretty fast and shame me. And so I'm trying to be better than that, now that I'm more aware of it, but it's hard. And I have such low self-esteem that I feel like I don't really have anything going for me, so I feel like if there is something that I can win, I have to do my best to win, otherwise, like, what else do I have? Which is not good. Anything really... Poor PS4 is so dusty. Aww. I get it. I get it. It is weird. I haven't... Outside of streams, I haven't really played much on my own, except for, you know, Fortnite. And I've played an SNES game on my Switch a bit. That's kind of like Tetris. It's like this Kirby Match 3 kind of game. Really easy to pick up. And I love games, but for some reason it's just... I feel like I have to be quote-unquote productive after stream. That makes sense. So even if I'm drawing and it's fun, you know, I can justify that drawing is productive. You know, it's increasing my craft and it's something people will have eyes on. But it's hard for me to justify to myself to sit down and play game, or, you know, I get too in my head about, like, oh, well, I want to play this RPG, but, you know, one play session is going to be minimum an hour, and I could be using that hour to do other things, and I don't know if I have the attention for that right now, and blah, 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 blah. I get in the way of my own happiness. Yeah. But I can't fix the past, and they're certainly not going to apologize for it, so the best I can do is try and change my behavior for the future. And I know it'll make me a happier person in the long run. At least one way of motivating you. Capitalism poisoning. It is! You know, if I had more of a steady income, maybe I'd be a little kinder to myself, but it's hard to say. Because at least then it feels like, oh, I earned this, but I earned it in this time, like this break, but I earned it in a way that other people, before they judge me, they will understand. Like, if I brought in money, they would respect that more. But because how I'm busy and how I work on stuff isn't as easy to show to people as, like, oh, I worked really hard today by, like, making this illustration. It's like, okay. So? And I'm like, oh, okay. And, like, I work hard on maybe an illustration or something, but it doesn't mean, like, I have now, by doing said thing, I have assured a higher quality of life for myself. Kind of thing, you know? So it feels like I gotta keep going. I'm trying to pump the brakes a little, though, because I definitely know if I keep forcing myself to do things like that, it's gonna make me burn out whether I like it or not, and I don't want to do that. In my off time I can play, but I just don't. Just cleaning up where the console is, or it'll sound like a jet engine. A lot of spider webs too. Aww! I'm so sorry. I feel like things like that are always in it, like, almost a little indicator of, like, mental health kind of thing. And it's like, oh man, the PlayStation's gotten really dusty and there's a cobweb. Hey, maybe I'm not doing so good. For some reason, when I get... like, when I've had really bad days, like, when I'm really sad, is always the time when my posters decide to fall down. And I don't know why. It almost feels like... have you ever been so, like, depressed that the sheer weight of your feelings or your heart, exudes out of you as an aura and brings down posters around you? I always feel like that's almost a litmus test for how I'm doing. Like, how many posters are still on the wall? It feels like a metaphor somehow. Yeah. I do gotta dust too. I gotta do a lot of stuff, and I gotta clean, and I gotta pick things up, and I gotta wait for whoever has their laundry in the dryer to take it out of the dryer so I can put our clothes in the dryer. Wee. It feels weird because I'll be tired, but I won't be able to rest. I feel like I have to keep going. Like, my mental state is tired, but my body still has energy, so I better use it now while I have it. But then that just makes me more mentally exhausted. The human body, or a mortal body, I should say, is very temperamental, and it takes a lot of upkeep, and I don't like it. Last I played was around March. Wow. Hey, that's pretty far back there. You were still a bit brisk at that time. Control the falling posters. I'll harness the harness. By the power of my sad, I command thee. But you know, it's such bad timing, because when you already feel bad, then having, you know, one of the things that, like, denotes your space and, like, makes you happy, like, fall down and it makes more effort for you. It's just, like, kicking you while you're down. Terrible. Man, I really want boba or iced tea Or even a little cup of orange juice. I just want some flavor in my drink right now. You lost your posters. Were they on your wall and they ran away? Yeah, I fell behind around the Fontaine. Oh, like a bit before the Fontaine, like right after Wanderer came out. Like I got several constellations, and then I burnt out hardcore, and it was really hard to... But I burnt out on everything around that time. It was really hard to pick up. I think looking forward to Scaramouche was like giving me the last serotonin drops I could squeeze out. And then when I had him, it was like my whole system was like, okay, now you need to sleep. And then I wanted to come back sooner, but then a whole bunch of stuff just kept happening, so I ended up having to take a long break. My sign was gonna be sauce. I will say, like, I think it would be easier to go back into Genshin if there felt like less pressure to grind. Because, you know, with all the characters that have come out in the new areas, the level of power you need continues to increase, the power scaling, you know? And the only way that you can keep up with that is not only getting the new characters, but you also have to grind for equipment. No one can make it just with, like, regular equipment anymore, and you're just investing in your faves. And I've played other, like, free-to-play gacha game kind of things like that, where, you know, like, even if you don't have the strongest characters, there's ways to supplement that strength in other ways. But, because, like, all of them, they want to encourage you to get the new character and to spend more time. But I guess Genshin does it in such a way that it's too much. Because they introduce too much stuff every month nowadays that you have to do. Not optional, have to do if you want to stay free to play. And then even with things like artifacts and whatnot, you can't pay for good ones. You have to just hope for luck. And you have to grind at the same domain. And it's when you have to grind, you know, for that, and in such a way that it's not fun anymore. Especially because Genshin's, the big thing was not the combat of what's appealing, it's the story, the character designs, and the exploration. But it gets harder because each area gets more difficult with just, you know, the local fauna. So I know you can drop down the world level, but they also they penalize you pretty bad for that, because like your drops just for like items and stuff just end up sucking. Oh, I'm a little cranky about it. Having the minds frozen, yeah. Most comical outline of the poster, but it isn't there. Oh no! I'd spend days grinding for those artifacts only to get spat in my face with resistance artifacts. A big game now, yes. Like, I definitely want to know more of the story. And I'd like to meet more of the characters I haven't properly met yet. But, and like, because there is a lot that you get from exploring and stuff, but like, for a while, combat is a hassle, and they make it necessary, it's just not gonna be very fun. Country Shape Media? I feel like you are a distant cousin of VLC Media Player. What Uchuchuu? What country shape are you? We're just hanging out. I'll probably only keep going for about 30 minutes, because then for those of you who are part of the Digimon Rewatch Discord, that's it. That's in half an hour. Hard to just get started with Genshin right now. I guess mostly to download, but like the first 2 areas are really well designed for beginning. Like especially Mondstadt, they really put in a lot of thought of the terrain and the different areas and how, like, when you access them and what they have, where nothing feels overwhelming and you can take your time, and it teaches you just through you exploring, and you learn, and you... Yeah. And, like, Liyue does that too, where it's that ramp up in difficulty, but it doesn't ask for, like, a commitment of, like, 60 hours of just grinding. It's just like, okay, now that you're out of baby playground, now you gotta start, like, thinking through your choices, and it's like, okay. But then you definitely feel the hike after that, like, starting with Inazuma. And it feels pretty severe. Usually, in fact, when they gave me a pyro damage effect while grinding for Ayaka's artifact. Fair. Need to drop off so I can get ready for bed for the Digi session. Talk to you later. I'll see you later, Sukra. I'll see you very soon, actually. Go get ready. Thank you for coming to stream. You know, it is sad because I like a lot of what Genshin does. Like, they have really excellent character designs. Their environmental storytelling and, like, storytelling through flavor text and the mystery they build is superb. And the fact that it's all for free, just being a gacha game, like, they do good. And they host a lot of little events, you know? They have quality merchandise, too. I like it, but there is definitely... It feels like they're falling apart. Like, not even talking about, like, how they've totally fumbled Natlan from just the previews that we've seen. But it definitely feels like they feel like they've overwhelmed so many of their long-term players that everyone's experiencing burnout because they want to keep you there. They want to force you to do all these events, to keep up to date, to get little drops of lore, to get cutscenes, to see your favorite characters. But they don't give any downtime. And areas feel like less thought out. Enemies are like above the level cap just because they need it to be more difficult and things like that. So I am sad. It feels like the passion of Genshin isn't being given enough time. Because you definitely can still tell that people care about it, but it feels like it has definitely fallen into the trap of, like, large companies where they're just trying to maximize player, like, time logged in. Rather than, you know, what it did really well. Too much stuff is on a short time limit. You know, like, you gotta spread that stuff out more. And got Navia. Ooh, interact weapon. Then I never went back. Would have been nice to enjoy that. Navia looks cool. I don't know much about her, but she has that kind of a nice version of, like, the Ojo-sama feel. Missing those limited events with characters interacting does suck. Yeah, it feels real bad. And they do, because of how it's, like, set up, they never rerun those. So you definitely feel like you have to log in. And then all the, like, not story-based ones, but, like, all the side events that give you items and stuff or weapons. It's like, well, I'm not interested, but I have to if I want to get any of the materials. But I'm still glad I got to join chat with you. Like, thank you so much. Take care at work, and I'll see you later. Be sure to eat up. I will. I guess I'm mostly harping on it because I'm sad that it's hard to pick back up again. Because I really do enjoy it. Or at least I enjoyed it for... Yes, let's see. Liyue was 1.0, Inazuma was 2.0, Sumero was 3.0. I enjoyed it for... How many years did that make it? 3 years? Yeah. Aw, thank you for the hearts! And drink some of my water. It was fun while it lasted. Yeah. I was sad that, you know, I couldn't really find an online community. Because I love to talk about it, and I drew for it and stuff like that. Not drew for it. I drew fan art of it and stuff like that. But the community itself got so big that it got... It couldn't support itself. And so everyone clashed with each other a lot, and so people would break off into smaller cliques and not interact outside of that. So it felt very alone talking about Genshin Online. But I did really like that I could play with my friends. You know? And then before they started rolling out events, like, all the time, those downtimes were nice because we would all just get together and, like, make the treasure compass, and we'll just go treasure hunting for a while and talk with each other on Discord. And I really liked that, especially because, you know, it was during the pandemic time. So, I don't know if or when we'll get something quite like that, you know? But it's nice. I am lucky that the fandom I interact with now has been... It's not super big. It's big enough where you, like, it's not like you met everybody, but it's small enough where you recognize people and people get excited to talk to you about it. Was the official dream event? Oh, well, that was a while ago, because that was, summer. That was one of the summer events. And it's when we got her alternative costume, which is very nice. I really like it. I feel like it's very fitting with her character. Yeah. Now I just feel, like, satisfied. So instead of, like, 30 minutes, I might go in 4 minutes just so I can make myself a little something to eat. And get everything set up for Digimon. Yeah. But I'm really glad we could talk today. And if anyone ends up watching the VOD, I really appreciate that they sat through it all. Design is pretty... Yeah, it feels very in line with, you know, the Prinzessin der Verirrung. But I guess I'll just let you know now. I will not be here tomorrow. And I don't mean that as in I'll be on Twitch. I'm no stream tomorrow. I'm finally getting my summer day with my friends at the beach. And hopefully I won't get sunburned. And then after that is, you know, we take Sundays off. And then there should be a schedule that comes up that, at least that afternoon, that evening. So keep an eye out for that, either on Twitter or join the Discord. Both links are down in the description below. Thank you! I don't go very deep in the water, because I like sea critters, but I don't like the idea of them touching me or biting me or pinching me or stinging me. So I get worried that, like, the farther out I go, I'm going to run into a sea critter. And it's, I mean, it's their living room, so I can understand why they're upset. I would have no one to blame but myself, but I still don't want that to happen. But I like hearing the waves roll in, and I like the sand, and I like digging holes. I really want to get, like, one of those kiddie plastic shovels, maybe a bucket, and just spend time on the beach just digging a big hole, even though I'd have to fill it in at the end. There's something very, I don't know, inherent. Are you alive? You have thumbs? You want to dig a hole. It's like, you're right, I do want to dig a hole. It'll be nice. It will be very, very nice. Especially because I'm going with 3 other friends, and the 4 of us haven't been able to hang out in a while. So it'll be good. I'm excited for it. Dig a deep hole. Happiness. Right? Just if you ever feel bad, just dig big hole. You know, find a place where it's not super, you know, like soft ground, but it's soft enough that it's not strenuous to like shoof. Dig yourself a hole. That, you know what? That's the motto we're leaving with today. Go out there and dig yourself a deep hole. The deepest hole you can. Stand in it. Sit in it, maybe. I hope you all get a chance to dig a very deep hole. Yes, yes. Thank you everybody so much for coming. I really appreciate it. And I know it's like, oh, Myobi, you say that at the end of every stream. But I do. You know, there's thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of streamers. And then also even some section of that of VTubers. And, you know, we only get so many hours in a day, and the fact that you choose, not only that you found me, but that you choose to spend time with me and whatever silliness I'm doing, that's a lot. That's a lot, and I appreciate it. So I want you to know I'm very thankful. I'm gonna get skedaddling. And I hope everybody else has a really fantastic rest of your day. Don't get sunburnt. I'm not gonna get sunburnt, and you're not gonna get sunburnt. And together we will not be sunburnt. Have a good weekend. Yes. I don't think there's any announcements I currently have. So. Thank you so much, Frederick, Taipai, and everyone else who remains. Thank you very much. You have a good day too. Okay. I'm gonna see you all later, okay? Make sure you eat. And tonight, brush your teeth before you go to bed. And drink water. And don't get sunburned. Okay. Okay, I love you. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.